2 weeks, money is not moving on that wallet. It's more than 1 million and I cannot sleep, I cannot sleep till we lock that wallet, and I am like pushing every day, 3-4 calls, lawyer, okay, let's push this, that,
Thank you guys for doing this interview. I know it's the weekend, so I appreciate it. To start with, can you please tell me your names and what you do?
Hi, David. Hi, Taras, guys. Pleasure having you. It's early morning for me, so good morning. So yeah, my name is Max Krupyshev. Originally Bachelor of Physics and then a bit of business education. I'm originally from Ukraine and I'm doing crypto since 2013. By the way, I met Roger Ver, I believe the main guy behind Bitcoin.com, in 2014 in Moscow. Right, I think
Wow,
this is the
cool.
time where he was really going to all of the events, right? Because there were so few. Yeah, so I'm involved in crypto for quite a long time. Since 2015, I'm involved into payments. Right now, I'm the co-founder and the CEO of CoinSpade, which is the whose main operational brand is cryptoprocessing.com. So we specialize on crypto payments. To the data that we know now, that we see now, and we have now, we are the leader of the market, basically processing stable coins and cryptocurrencies for businesses. We are purely B2B, right? So helping Web2 businesses to use cryptocurrencies and blockchains for their settlement needs, for the payment needs, for the treasury needs, and some of them even accumulating crypto as the long-term investment. This is quite a big organization now. We are almost 300 people comparatively.
Very cool. Crypto OG. Always nice to meet people like yourself.
Okay, my name is Taras Podhorodetskyi. So basically we are based in UAE, in Dubai, and we do investigations and asset recovery. And we have actually two brands. One of them is StarCompliance.io. Another one just recently launched. It's SafeMyCrypto.com. And our main focus of attention is to help victims who lost assets to track assets, then freeze, and then to recover these assets.
Very important
Last year,
these
we
days.
done 27 million freezed and recovered. So basically around 10 million recovered and 17 freezed. They will be recovered this year. So 2024 was quite lucky for us and our victims and customers who joined us.
Well, there have been a lot of hacks, kind of like big hacks recently, I would say, in the headlines, like the Bybit hack, for example, was the kind of the largest recently. And then even smaller exploits, like I think BitGet had one a week or two ago. Crypto companies are kind of constantly being attacked. I've listened to interviews with white hat hackers who talk about how alluring it is to crypto is, because it's basically it's basically kind of a honeypot for attackers. So it is a very, very important part of the industry that needs to be guarded against. And Max, you have had a hack, right? And could you just give a little background on this?
No, so to confirm your point about the honeypot, right? So I think over the history, right, which I mean I'm observing what for 12 years, basically crypto companies were always a victim of attempts, right? We are speaking about some small fraud, someone, I don't know, maybe not a really hacker, but just someone really curious who is basically doing a very thorough QA, understanding if there are discrepancies in exchange rates and whatever, right? Which is not a hack, right? Which is like an exploit of something. These exploits are being sold on the darknet, right? So someone found, and then they understand they don't know what to do afterwards. They just sell them. Of course, there are bigger organizations like the Lazarus who are after, a bigger players, right? And this is the one with whom we had an encounter in the summer 2023. I mean, I see this afterwards, of course. Afterwards, I see this as a stamp, of being in the first league of the game, right? If Lazarus is hacking you, that means something. It was a very well planned attack. right? So Lazarus is not doing a children game usually, right? They figure out a very complex schemes how to do it, right? So we've lost a big amount of money, right? Not in the top of the ratings, thanks God. But yes, there are also smaller attacks that are sometimes we are not the victim of the attacks, but our clients are, right? They are being exploited either through their systems, right? Either through the systems that they use, right? The very classical ways of these things. So we as the B2B provider, of course, our task is to give all the security tools to our clients, right? For example, if this is our API keys, they can set up the limits, then we have the limits on top of that. And this is improving all the time, right? So it's unfortunately platforms like ours and others, they are being attacked all the time. They are being hacked, unfortunately, sometimes, right? And that is where companies like StarCompliance, right, and other asset recovery businesses also that Taras is being involved in, that is where they are really handy, right? Because the quicker you contact them, the quicker they start really spreading the information about the hack, the better it is for the victim.
Am I correct in assuming that you met Max under these circumstances? Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. This is, what I like in our business is that people come to me, they're upset, but after some time they come out and they're happy because we solve these, problems and issues. And to be honest, we just recently calculated the success rate that we have in the cases that we are running, and it's around 68%. So when we spoke, with some ex-law enforcement agents and we released these numbers, they said it's quite high rate, because usually, like areas connected with the crime, with different cases, there is not so many success rate sometimes. So basically, yeah, we're working on that, and we very carefully plan each recovery process, because when something happens, we are like a SWAT team, we just focused exactly on that case, and we run it till the moment we locked the assets. Because sometimes hackers can, they can try to move money all around, play with bridges, with DEXs, CEXs. They try to hide the flow behind the CEX, because as you know, you can receive information from the CEX only when law enforcement requests this information. And basically, because of our unique structure, we have lawyers in 12 countries right now. We have partnerships, successful one, and cases, successful one. And we actually get this information from law enforcement through the lawyers, which represent victims usually, and we can analyze where money goes after taxes, for example. And this is the way how it works, and we like that we built really legitimate one framework, and we like that from us, our customers. I don't like to say that they're victims, to be honest. They are our customers, because they have issue, we should solve it, that's all. And they become happy after some time. So if I'm clear what I'm, I don't know
No,
if it's a clear
that's great.
explanation. And when
That's
you
great.
make these people happy, this is the most important moment. Then you will be happy, They will send you something like commission.
Yeah. Your answer reminds me of doctors, right? Because nobody really usually goes to see a doctor when they're feeling great and and very happy.
Yes.
But the doctor's job is to hopefully send them away happier than
Yeah.
when
True.
you initially meet them. Okay. I'm just curious on a general level, how does this work, right? Like you get a phone call or an email from a customer. Um, what happens after that, right? Like
I
they're like,
think
"Hey, help
this
me."
is okay. This is a good opportunity to share the both sides vision of the both sides, how it happens, because in our case with Max, it's happened like this: Telegram group created and the process is started. This is how it works. And to be honest, a lot of crypto people, that they use Telegram. So basically, yeah, we communicate in Telegram, we get the data. Of course, we have some special systems where a victim can like apply the whole case and we can analyze it. And after that, just to choose whether we go in that specific case or we skip it. Because some cases, like there happens with the individuals, and this is sometimes hard to recover because efforts that you need to invest in this process are much higher than the potential amounts that you can recover from this, you know.
So basically, how it works from us business people, right, who
Go
really
ahead.
need a
Yeah.
solution, right? Of course, you can. I like the example from Taras about what is the police recovery rate, right, or solving the case rate. I mean, we have experience with contacting the police in European Union, right? Because of course, sometimes we have blackmail, right? Sometimes we have something else, right? And we contact the police sometimes, right, when we need to get justice. With the stolen funds, it's very difficult to contact the police because they're usually like, you are a corporate victim, right? This is crypto. I mean, we have more important things to do, right? So it is really a pain, right, to get attention from the authorities, right, to really be on your case. And what Taras is saying, right, that he's focused, right? So they are a team who really pays attention to the case, right? Because if you go to usual governmental office, right, of enforcement, they usually have your case and 100 other cases, right, which can be connected probably with a physical assault, right? Something which really makes a
Terrorism.
threat or terrorism, right? Which makes a threat really to the people in the country, right? Because when the company is robbed by whoever for the money, for them this is not a top priority. So I think this is one of the reasons why, and that is why if you are a company whose crypto being stolen, just going or writing an email to the police potentially doesn't give you the result that you really want to get. But so how it all starts, right? Usually, it's a very recommendation based model, right? Because what Taras is doing is not a usual service, right? This is not something that every crypto guy or a girl knows just as it is, right? We know that exchanges exist, we know that wallets exist, but we don't know that these services exist because, okay, probably not all of us had these problems ever or ever thought about that they will need a solution. So how it usually happens when someone is hacked, when someone has a problem with the funds, whatever, they are lost, they are locked, they are just gone somehow, they cannot find it. They usually ask people who had similar problems, right? Sometimes I might have a call in the middle of the night when my friend is calling me and say, Max, I was hacked for $3 million. What do I do? I say, there is a company who you can contact. They will consult you what to do exactly, what are your steps, how much the service will cost, and what are the conditions, basically, what are the chances to recover. And usually it is very important to act really quickly, right? If you contact Haras basically 1 week after the incident, he might say, Max, the money are all gone, right? They are already laundered, already moved, and they are already nowhere to be found. If this is happening in the first 20 minutes, that is when blockchains are still processing, right, the hack. It might be that some of the transactions are still even unconfirmed in the blockchain, right? So it's very, hot situation. So how it usually happens, right? Whatever get the contacts, either me, right, or my colleagues and so on, the quickest way is not even an email, right? You create a chat and you call and say, I created a chat with my good friends, with my clients, with the people I trust that they are really a victim, right? They will not be wasting the time because I'm sure that with Taras, he also have scammers contacting him to recover money which are not theirs, right? I'm thinking
I was going to
there are
ask
the
about
time
that. Yeah.
wasters. There are the time wasters everywhere, right? So you understand. I don't know if you remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, the people were running around with these OTC deals for $3 billion with some MT75 like stuff, and you're like, guys, what? Like, I don't really understand what the scam is about. So I'm sure these people exist, right? So you give the good recommendations. This is a very, recommendation-based model on both sides, right? So we are recommending the client, right? We are recommending the provider. We recommend them to each other. Then they speak. They understand if they have a vibe, right? Because with these things, you have to be ready to go through it, right, to really provide documents quickly, to be able to provide some internal investigations quickly, and so on and so on. And how ready you are and how equipped you are to really submit all the necessary data to the company which does the recovery. This is, I think, the big it improves the chances of success a lot. So the close collaboration with these companies, this is really important. So from the business point of view, this is you have to observe the event as quickly as you can. It's because sometimes how it was with empty GOX, right? They were being exploited for years, right? And they didn't even notice. So important is to be able to notice that you've been exploited and immediately contact and immediately allocate a group on your side to be submitting all the data, all the IPs, all the proofs, all the stuff. And then just trust the system. Just trust the service that StarCompliance knows exactly what to do,
Because
right?
this is the
Whom to
way.
contact.
Is that a bobblehead? Oh, right. This
It's
is wait. I get that.
Mandalorian, my
Right.
friend.
Gotcha.
This is the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Good. All right. So I thought I found it very interesting, Taras. You were talking about how you have you have lawyers in 12 countries. And this is, it seemed to me that was an important aspect because you get those lawyers to then, could you kind of expand on that? Why it's necessary to have lawyers in so many different jurisdictions?
Okay, I'll tell you. So basically, number one, we want to have as much legitimate process, fully legitimate as it possible. And as you know, lawyers, they have access to the case. And when you work with the law enforcement, it's we cannot work directly, right, with the law enforcement because we are not lawyers. We're just on-chain analytic company. And yes, we have compliance officers which have over 6 years experience in crypto. So they saw a lot. Now these compliance officers do investigations. So they have very interesting, like mindset and very skillful mindset, to be honest. But to be fully in a legal framework, like in a right one framework, we should have lawyers in each country with whom we cooperate just to, to foster the process with the law enforcement on the ground. And this is the way how we do it. This is the way how we do it. And to be honest, these all lawyers, partners, they appeared as fast as we moved on the cases. Because, when situation is happening, you should take decision fast. And we had I think half of the partners that we are having right now, they all came through the customers, through the victims. So the victim comes, he says oh, my friend, he's a lawyer, he's ex-law enforcement, and, he knows the process inside, how this works in this country. He can help with pushing the case, And yes, of course, we will provide everything. We will provide report which shows where the money goes. We'll provide the freeze request, how they should look like, what to do, how to act. We will set up the whole process when the recovery can already, it's time for recovery. We will set up everything, prepare all the documents from the compliance side. So the lawyers actually, they help a lot, and they are our additional way how we can push case inside of the law enforcement system, because different situation can happen, different situation. And even when we're providing everything what is needed to freeze assets, sometimes if it's no good connection, no understanding on the ground, it happens that the case is slowing down. We had the same situation in Georgia. Few people in Georgia have been robbed for a huge amount of money. And the police said, yeah, we'll push this case. And lawyers said, yeah, we'll push this case. But unfortunately, that's why 68% success rate, not 100, not 80, not 70, because of that case also. So basically, and it was so even, it was so easy. It was so easy. There is a issuer of the stable coin, for example, right? So you have official request, case is already going. And imagine how I was feeling when 2 weeks, money is not moving on that wallet. It's more than 1 million. And I cannot sleep, I cannot sleep till we lock that wallet, And I am pushing every day, 3-4 calls, lawyer. Okay, let's push this, that. We find the way to lock it. But to be honest, in that case, we did not achieve it. But we were pushing every day, And this is the problem. So that's why we are searching for all partners that are open for cooperation, because we have what to offer. We have a very good, partner program that help us to move our businesses across the borders and help to the people.
Taras, I love to see your passion. It's just coming off of you. I can see how I can see how energetic and passionate you are about this. This is great. All right. So let me try to take a step back. Before the interview started, Taras, you were going to tell me about like how the investigation works, I believe, and you
Mm-hmm.
said that there are kind of three phases. Um,
Mm-hmm.
can you please go through these phases of a typical investigation?
Yeah. So basically, number one phase, it's to trace where the money goes. Some companies, they offer like to label the money in some systems, but this doesn't work. Okay. I don't have any success case which was labeled and somebody lock it. Okay. So, but even some companies, they speculate on that. They sell it as a separate service, you know. This is not what we do. For us, it's important results. So basically, we trace the assets. When we do the tracing, we can see what can be locked, you know, at taxes, what can be locked at wallets, cold wallets. I mean, if it's stable coins, right? And then after tracing is done, this is the process of freezing the assets is happening. It cannot be done without law enforcement. So anybody, it's good advice, by the way.
Interesting.
If anybody will say to you that he will recover your assets in crypto without any criminal case, without law enforcement, he is a scammer. It's 99%. I can have 1% that the money goes to some like small swap exchange, you know, like small exchange, and you know the owner, but it's less than 1% opportunity in the world. You got my point?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if
definitely.
any business says, yeah, we will recover your funds, we will do everything, just pay us $250 and we will do, or $79999, it means this is the scam lawyers. We have actually a separate video about these scam lawyers. So then you need to recover. To recover, sometimes you need court order. Who will push that on the side, on the ground, right? Partners who have access to the court, they can, you know, go explain to the judge what to do, what decision is need to be done. Plus, we provide expert documents which is needed for the court decisions. It's like the tracing report, explanation of the hack, everything what is needed just for the court to understand the case itself. And it's also very important. That's why we're now opening few more establishments in Europe, just to have opportunity to be presented in Europe as a local company, you know, not just UAE one. Because in UAE, it's very good base if you want to meet with a lot of crypto people. It's like one of the hubs of crypto, basically, Dubai especially. But if you want to be present in Europe, you should have some substances there. So we opened one at Cyprus right now. So what's happening next? When the lawyers working with the judges and we have decision positive one, then you can receive documents, and then you need to persuade that for example, some trading platform should move money to your account as a victim.
I see.
Right now, we have a case. I will not say which one platform, okay, because it still just started 4 days ago, and they have assets locked on the platform. It's huge one. It's top 3 or top 5, whatever. So the assets locked because of the police in some country, like reported that something. They go to that police, to that email, which was provided by the trading platform. They send lawyers themselves, victim. He sends lawyers themselves. They show all the documents, all the data. Police say, we don't even freeze your account. We don't have any, like, you know, issues. Go take your money from the trading platform. We don't have any issues. They give the paper about that, you know? And the platform is not responding. How many months, as you think?
I don't know, 4 months, 3 months?
6.
Max, you
I
wanted to
just
say
wanted,
something?
yeah, I wanted to add quickly, right? So this basically chain, right? So there are few places where you can block money, right? Either centralized exchanges, right? Either on the smart contract level, right? Like you do with the Tether or Circle and so on.
Tether, yeah,
But
USCC,
it's
yeah.
always happening through the police, right? So for example, we have sometimes that my friends are asking me, Max, please block this account. These are stolen money, right? And if we see that they are really potentially stolen, we can lock them, but we wait for the official request, right, from the police, right, a court order, then whatever, right? So we cannot give money to somewhere. So just to confirm what Taras is saying about the scammers. But we had a case, not a huge one, but anyways, basically money went to centralized exchange. This was this was a white bit. Also our friends from Ukraine right? And they really blocked money before, before the court order. But then basically with the court order and with the seizure order, they basically had to transfer money to the police wallet, right? So intermediary wallet of the police. And then we as the company in European Union, then were basically speaking with the police and saying, guys, you have a case and everything. Now you have this money, return us the money. So this process itself, it took approximately 1 year, right? Since the white bit really
Wow.
said, okay, here is your money, right? So this process, basically, if there is no one uh, in between all of these chains, really being aware of like what they can do, right? Sending reminders, making sure that the email is not in the spam folder, between the police and the exchange, because the police is busy, the exchange is busy, then the case is not standard. They always have to escalate to what a CFO, CEO of the business, if it is a bigger bureaucracy, right? With us, with 300 people, everything which is unusual, it takes much longer, right? Because then someone is on vacation, someone is sick, someone's like always long. For example, my email threads with our police officers or with the companies which recover funds are usually very long, right? The compliance process that we had with the USDT, with the Tether, had approximately 37 emails or 47 emails. So
Wow.
it
Yeah.
took also a very long time. It always like that. So having a professional in between is important.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, it's more about focus of attention from my side. Like we keep the process going on all the time to push it because we are motivated at each stage to make it happen. That's why what I can add from my perspective, and just to protect Whitebit a little bit, if you will open any rules of any crypto trading platform, you will see that they can freeze account for some time if they have any compliant threat which they see from their perspective. So basically, when somebody reports actually directly to the trading platforms that this particular transaction is stolen funds or connected with a crime, they can freeze assets for a few days. No one can stop them from doing this, to be honest. No one. Even the regulator will say, yeah, you got a signal, okay, you need to investigate. Because when you open the system where you see the whole transaction, the bench, what happens with the transactions, you can see where the money comes from. So you actually can understand, as a compliance officer, you can understand what kind of, how real these threats that you received. Is it really connected to the crime or not, for example? Because when you are long in this analysis, you already have some kind of, mindset that allows you just from the quick look to understand that smells good or bad, everything what you see on the screen with the transaction. So this is actually, it's good that Whitebit is doing this work, and it's not the first time, as I know. They actually help a lot with that, and it's true. And I would be honest with you, I would like Bybit do the same what Whitebit do, to be honest, because Bybit was hacked, and everybody was calling me, Taras, are you join? Habibi, I have not a big team to join. It's Lazarus. It's obvious. Why I should spend huge amount of time just, better we will spend huge amount of time to help Bybit not to receive stolen funds and not to be the laundry, for that stolen funds. Because we have that solution. We have this solution already. So basically, this is potential quite high. And I believe we should do it with any trading platform. Anybody, if any owner of the crypto trading platform watching this video, just call me, okay? Just call me today. And we will help you to earn money with us on locking the stolen assets, and everybody will be happy. Because if we talk about stable coin issuers, it will take more than 1 year to recover the assets. To be honest, from the day of assets are frozen to the day you will receive the last one payout, it can take up to 3 years. And this is ridiculous. I will not comment which company stable issuers take which kind of commission officially because they do this work. They freeze. We understand technically it's one very simple function in the smart contract, okay?
Yeah.
But of course, they have a lot of risks on their side that this money can be later on, somebody third party can appear and say, this was my funds. They take the risk on their side, but it's too much, 3 years. It's too much. It should happen in a 1 year maximum. This is how it should be, And if you are sure, and if case is clear, it should happen in 3 months, in 5 months, for example. Because some cases very simple, with a lot of proofs, with a lot of evidence. You don't need to play this game for 3 years with the simple cases. You got my point. It's my message to all stablecoin issuers. If you want to be the best on the market, do your job fast.
I was wondering if you have any kind of takeaways or things that you've learned through this process of going through this kind of investigation and recovery process that you could share. Max?
From our side, from our side, of course, it's much easier not to lose money, right? It's much easier to protect and to invest upfront before that, right? So if we take, for example, the hack from the Lazarus, right, which was 37 million, which were just gone. Investing this money just upfront in security probably would be a more fun entertainment, right? Or the process or investment or whatever. But it is how it is, right? So of course, if you are a company, figure out what is the amount of the money that you invest in your cybersecurity, in your structure of the wallets, in your treasury procedures, and so on, right? So when this happens, then this is a good sign that your company is underinvested into software security, right? Into the cybersecurity, right? Cybersecurity is a very complex thing, right? It's the social engineering risks, right? Those are your internal systems. Those are systems of your providers. Speaking about the Bybit, right? I don't think Bybit was hacked as Bybit, but one of their providers. So
That's
anyways,
right.
it's a very complex thing. It's a very
Safe.
complex thing, so you have to be aware. Exactly. And if this happens, right, if you have an exploit or your clients have an exploit, so something which is, in your realm of interests, then it's important to, contact someone who knows what to do ASAP. So in this way, you at least, increase your chances of the recovery. And I don't know if there is a graphical explanation, but I think the later you contact the professional, the lesser is the chance to recover anything. So I would say you have to act really, really quickly, because I think some of the victims, they're like, okay, let's keep quiet, let's try to figure out the solution ourselves, right? And then if you contact StarCompliance, I don't know, in 1 year after the incident, and they're like, guys, if there's something we can do, then the guy probably would say, come on. I mean, 1 year is too long. Right? I think maybe 1 week sometimes is too long. It's better when it is happening really, really quickly.
I would say something that came to mind is also maybe you shouldn't wait to have a working relationship with somebody like StarCompliance. Like you shouldn't wait to be hacked or have some problem to have a working relationship with an investigation company. You should probably have that already set up, right? Like a decent working relationship, a Telegram that's already active, some kind of thing. So God forbid this does happen, you can just hop in there and be like, hey guys, haven't talked in a while. Oh, by the way, I think I need your help right now. I think that could also
Good
be useful.
idea.
Yeah.
Good idea, because it takes time for us to do compliance, on our side, to check who is the guy who is coming to us. Because if it's some people who are come by recommendation, but the people who recommend don't, know them very good, and that can be big amounts. So we need to do our KYC. We always do it, or KYB, whatever. And then we need to understand if this game is really, it's really happened, this one hack or this one situation. Because sometimes people coming, they pretend to be victims, but at the end of the day, when we put few questions, we know how to put questions, okay?
I can compare it with, unobligatory insurance, right? So, for example,
Yes.
I
Yes.
think in many places in Europe, you sort of like have everything that you rent has to be insured from accidents, right? But it's not everywhere in the case. For example, you rent a garage, do you have it insured? If it is not obligatory, I mean, if you do, then your self-awareness is somehow high, right? You understand that those are the risks that you don't want to think about. And I think building relationship with investigators before you had a hack requires a lot of self-awareness, right? We were speaking to some people who had expertise with investigations, but again, we we met them after a minor incident. So it's usually not something normal to think about in the industry, but I think your advice makes sense, right? If we had a better relationship with Taras, understanding his flows, right, understanding his requirements, understanding his process, I think our chances retrospectively would have been higher.
Do you think the number of hacks is going to, because I think isn't the historical number of hacks like decreasing year over year still? Do you think that trend is going to continue, or do you imagine it's going to kind of increase?
David, it's my question.
Go ahead.
Number one, we should understand there is not only hacks, okay? There is a lot of different cases that are happening every day. So hacks is just one of 20 different types of cases.
Exploits
happening.
and
it can be, yes, love scams, some OTC deals which never happened, what Max told. So basically it's a lot. Hacks will increase. Why? Because as much as mass adoption will grow, the bigger will be amount of any kind of scams, or any kind of hacks that will happen. It's obvious. So mass adoption is still going on because we are just at the end of the first stage, of preparation of the market to the mass adoption. And you know what is cherry on the pie? Or
the
cherry on the pie is what we are doing. We will do with you second interview, I think October or November. I don't want to say September because we still need some time to test everything. And we will offer the solution for the market where law enforcement does not need to think much about how to recover and how to lock. We are working on that. It will be our secret sauce because the separate parts of the system already working. And, I am self-funded totally. So basically what we have right now, we have a situation when we do each part, we put it, we test it on the real cases. If it works, we'll make it the bigger the part of the bigger piece, like of the bigger system. So this is what happens. So maybe we will see revolution at the end of this year with the solutions that we will provide to the lawyers, victims, law enforcement, etc. Because I told you, we are a small team, but we know how to make things happen.
Very cool.
I must agree here, David. So I think the amount of the hacks or the attempts of hacks will be growing, right? So I don't see really, because you see, Binance is becoming bigger, Bybit is becoming bigger, right? So they're becoming even more interesting honeypots, right? And you understand that it's always about offense, defense, resources, right? Of course, if you become bigger, there is more money to be stolen, then the hackers will be more and more after you, and then this is a matter of time. So this unfortunately go in that direction, and I don't think that newer players who are appearing in the market, right, those guys who are writing smart contracts, those guys who are running some new blockchains, some new games on the blockchain and so on, they somehow, logically, they are more concentrated how to launch the business, how to grow the business, than to study all of the hacks, right? Because this is not the work that you earn from, right? And this way of thinking usually just not there. So I think what is happening now, what people are developing now, probably will be hacked in 3-4 years because they don't study the mistakes. And then whatever people are starting in 3-4 years will be hacked in another 3-4 years because they also don't study from the previous mistakes. I sort of feel this is exactly what is happening.
Oh, Max, I hope not. That to me, that's very pessimistic. I hope that people learn from their past mistakes. But I mean, you might be right.
But they don't, no?
I don't know. I'm not sure. My hope, I guess, my optimistic, maybe misplaced optimism, is that the techniques, all the failures create newer and safer techniques, and then those techniques build upon each other, and we grow a set of like I don't know, services and rubrics and best practices that over time make the surface area of attack smaller and smaller. But, maybe that's just me being naive.
You are partially right, right? If there is an industry standard, then yes, right? We have some best practices. I do agree with you. But many people still like to experiment, right? They are disrupting the industry. They are doing things in their own ways. This is mostly what I mean, right? When you go into deep R&D, in your attention is usually around how to build it, right, and how to make it interesting for the client, not how to make it secure for the client for a longer time.
Yeah. I understand. Well, thank you guys. This is really, really interesting. And I think that it's important for especially businesses and people who are building things in crypto to pay attention to this area of the market.